is that we are now live. So we can go ahead and fire up our watch parties. Like I said, I apologize in advance for the little noise that we might hear from my phone for the watch party.
All right. All right. I see something popped up there.
All right. So
started the watch party.
Got one watch party going in advance for the little noise that we might hear from my phone for the watch party.
Let's see if I can get mine going. All right, I see something popped up there.
And is this the private chat or live?
This one, we are currently live right now.
So there's a delay here. Let me see.
Yeah. Because of the delay, we'll just wait a few seconds for the delay.
And is this the private chat or live?
This one, we are currently live right now. All right. Hopefully, feedback. But we are live right now. I'm posting a watch party on my Monley page, and I'm also
hearing a lot of noise. So let me
you got a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I'm hearing it 2 or 3 times.
Okay, let me see. Hopefully, feedback. But we are live right now. Okay. Are you still hearing the feedback? And I'm also.
So you don't hear that? A lot of noise. So
you got a lot. Oh, I do hear it.
Okay, I'm hearing it 2 or 3 times. Bear with us, folks. We can get this together here. Appreciate everybody tuning in for Create Your Future Self Live.
Everybody's hearing the feedback, so what we're going to do is I'm probably going to have to stop my watch party on my phone. Yep, that was me.
Okay.
Now.
Well, that sounds better, though.
Oh, yeah. Had to stop the watch party on that.
Let's see. Okay, so... Can you still tag without doing a watch party?
We should still be able to tag.
And then I can send it out hopefully on mine and it won't do that.
Yeah.
All right.
I believe my watch party from my Laquita Monley page is still going, and that's the one that you're tagged in.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. Let's see here, folks. We're just getting it together here. All right.
All right. There we go. There we go. Are you able to see it, Vic?
I'm getting in there now. Trying to make sure I can see the live version of it. I see the one from 2 minutes ago.
Okay. It should be going live. It's just a little bit of a delay.
Is it on Laquita or on Laquita, you said?
It's on Laquita. Laquita was giving too much feedback.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, I believe we're good. I'm going to just go ahead and see if it'll let me do a watch party. See the one from 2 minutes ago. I think mine does the same thing.
Okay. Thank you, Robin. Robin, which page are you watching the watch party on? The delay.
Is it on Laquita or on Laquita?
It's on Laquita. Laquita was giving too much feedback.
All right, I'm going to do it from my phone, too. Let's get this party started here.
All right.
All right,
everybody. Thank you guys so much for your patience with all of the technical difficulties today. But thank you all for joining us on Create Your Future Self. You know, this show was with myself and Mr. Victor Benico Johnson, and we meet every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And tonight we have a very special guest. His name is Mr. Tahj Brown, and he is a loan officer with Flip Funding LLC. And tonight's broadcast is especially dedicated to those individuals that are in the real estate investing space. So hard money loans are a hot topic in the real estate investing space. And there's a lot of truths out there about it. And there's a lot of things that aren't so true about it. And so tonight, hopefully, when you leave this broadcast, you will have your questions answered, you'll have lies dispelled, and you'll be armed with truth so that you will know what hard money is, what it's not, and how to access it.
Right. Absolutely. Introduce yourself, young man, please, to the world out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Tahj Brown. I'm 20 years old. I actually work for Flip Funding as an account executive, also a loan officer.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm out here in Killeen, Texas now.
Nice. Okay. So that's how y'all connected in the Killeen area, big military circuit in Texas. Very good. So let's just jump right into it. Tell us the journey. How'd you get here? 20 years old is very impressive to be in this industry. So tell us how the journey came about.
So this journey started off, this wasn't one that I was actually looking forward to. I actually didn't see myself here today. I was 17 years old in high school. I enlisted in the Army. The Army ended up not working out too well for me. I got out. I then became a Philadelphia Police Explorer, working hard there. I was also working in a restaurant. I was volunteering in schools, doing all sorts of things. And the way that I got into real estate was me just offering, saying, hey, whatever you need help around the office, I'll help you. And then I just started, this is my uncle's company. He started teaching me different things in real estate. So,
okay. And so when did you officially become a loan officer?
Last year, February 14th.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, soon to be happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Nice. So the company is called Flip Funding LLC. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kind of talk us through a normal day. You know, what's your day look like today?
So a normal day, well, today was Martin Luther King Day, so we were off today. But on a normal day, I start off, we work pretty early in the morning just trying to get deals closed. Most people come to us for hard money loans. They come to us because hard money loans are quicker. You get quickly approved through us. Also, there's not as many documents needed. For us, our average documents needed is about 7 to 10 documents.
Okay. Very good. What type of documents we talking about? I mean, you don't have to go into the whole exact items, but just in general. First of all, I guess there's some people out there that are new to the real estate investing world and may not really understand hard money. So kind of talk to us about what a hard money loan is. Most people are probably familiar, obviously, with conventional loans, but kind of explain what's the uniqueness of a hard money loan.
Hard money loans, basically we're like private lenders. We're not like the traditional companies out there, like such as your banks. We do direct funding. We can close within 2 weeks. Not only can we close within 2 weeks, we got competitive rates going up against the banks. We can go as little. Our rates even dropped again for the second time in 2 months to starting at 4.5%. So
nice.
That's what we're looking at.
I know that's very attractive to folks like you for sure.
Also, so some of the documents that we need to get started on a loan, most of the time we do require that you have an entity. Sometimes folks do like to do it individually. That's okay, but you get better rates when you go through it, move forward with the entity.
Okay.
Yeah. So as real estate investors, depending on the school where you learned or how you learn, but in general, in the real estate space, most real estate investors do know that it's prudent to purchase your properties with an LLC. So if you're a new investor and you were not aware of this entity, it's an LLC. So, and it is very much needed for the purchase of a property and the sale of a property. It protects you in a lot of different ways. And Vic and I will talk about that some more. We've talked about it in previous broadcasts, but we'll talk about it again as we continue throughout the year on why you want to have different LLCs when you're purchasing your property. And as Tahj said, it helps you get a better rate.
Yes, and also, it's important to move forward with an LLC because that helps with your experience as well. The more experience that you have, the better rates and the better terms that you'll have.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about, so again, a lot of our audience are newer, maybe investors or people that are aspiring to get into real estate investing. Talk a little bit about, the types of projects that you will fund, single family, multifamily, what do you guys fund? And then also, from a financial standpoint, what percentage are you usually looking for the investor to bring to the table in those transactions?
Okay, sure. So we fund deals, single family residence. We also do multifamily, both residential and commercial. For the second question was,
well, type of percentage of cash on a deal that they would probably need to bring if everything looks good document wise.
Okay, most cases, for most of the clients that I work with, I do require that they at least bring 10% to the closing table. Sometimes, depending on different factors, on their experience, their credit, and the history of things, sometimes it's even less than that. But I always like to cap it off, just saying, "Hey, 10% down," and
makes sense.
We'll go from there.
Okay.
Absolutely. And you've mentioned a few times about their experience. Explain to an investor that possibly never used hard money, or a new investor that's heard all of these things about hard money. It's like, hey, I don't need credit. I don't need this. I just need to have a good deal. Talk about that investor experience and chop that up and make that more realistic on, I don't have to have credit in order to do this deal.
Okay. So, well, one of the things is our company just changed again this month, another guideline. The minimum credit score that we now accept is a 525. And this is, we're going to make this official at the end of this week here as a 525.
Wow.
Your credit, that plays a big role in our long-term loans, such as our rentals, our refis, our cash out refis, our acquisitions. Those play a big role with your interest rate. Now we can get you started off and qualified with a 525 for a long-term loan, but we'll need to see the income. Some of the requirements that we'll need to see is that you can make 6 months payments with interest, and you have that in reserves. And as long as we see that, you're approved for the loan.
Nice, very nice. So again, we want to make sure we're talking to some folks that are just learning this whole lingo about real estate investing and hard money. When you talk about reserves, obviously Laquita and I understand that world very much, but talk to the basic person out there about what the reserve is.
Oh, so the reserves is cash that you have in your bank account. For example, if your mortgage is $500 a month, I have a deal there's like 653. They want to see 653 times 6 with the interest added onto there.
Mm-hmm. In that person's bank account, so they can have that as security basically for that loan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so this is good stuff, man. Definitely great stuff, and obviously we're going to share some information with the audience here a little bit towards the end of this about how they can contact you. I guess one question I do have: do you do deals across the nation? Just Texas, Philadelphia? Where are you mostly operating?
We do deals nationwide. As the company is expanding, we're actually even thinking about going overseas. As of right now, we can operate in Canada as well.
Wow. So tonight we have the pleasure of speaking with a young man that is not only doing big things in real estate in the Central Texas area, but across the country and Canada, and looking at going internationally. So on Create Your Future Self, one of our biggest things that we talk about is mindset shifting, and that nothing is impossible. So your dream was to be in the Army. for 20 years. That didn't work out. You transitioned into the police force, and then you transitioned again into becoming a loan officer. And now you've positioned yourself to be able to help other individuals who are looking to, in essence, create their future selves as you did. That's really what you've done in the short time that you've been on the earth, right? So yeah, you've done some great things. So to the viewers that are watching, real estate investors, don't let anything stop you. This young man is giving some very valuable information on hard money lending. But I think the most valuable thing he's brought to the table tonight, Vic, for me, is himself. At age 20, he's redefined himself 3 times, and put himself in the global marketplace, and he's landing the impact. I think that's super.
Absolutely, and that should be applauded for sure, because you're inspiring a lot of folks out there, man. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like almost 40 when I got into real estate investing. So you are cutting that timetable in half. And that brings me to one real question that I have, because again, we have a lot of folks out there that are inspired by our guests and things like that. You are truly going to inspire folks here. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, which will be only 25, but where do you see your individual self at that point?
I still plan on doing what I do now, but at 25, I see myself reaching out more to the community. One of the biggest things is, I used to always tell myself, I'm not supposed to be here, but I learned that because I'm here right now, I was meant to be here. Just the things that I went through, it was to make me who I am today, to build, they say pain builds character, and that's what I have a passion for what I do. And, my target is young people. Because there's a lot of young people out here today who don't see the future for themselves, but they don't know that the future is all theirs.
Right.
So
that's good, man. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. So absolutely. 5 years ago, you were 15. What would you tell yourself now? This 20-year-old young man is doing this professional stuff. You're funding hundreds of thousands of dollars of deals in real estate, helping people like me and Laquita to see our future continue to grow and build our portfolio of wealth. What would you tell that 15-year-old young man as you are today?
I would have told myself back then when I was 15 years old that the world is yours. Anything that you can see yourself doing or becoming, you can become it. Yeah. And that's one thing that, like, for me, I had to put my mind towards what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I had to work towards it. A lot of people think that things come easily. No. And then most definitely things get hard. Don't stop. Don't stop. Just keep going. That's the main thing. So when I was younger back then, I would have told myself, the world is yours. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Don't stop believing in yourself.
That's it.
That's it.
You can tell a bunch of 65-year-olds that one, brother, because that's
for sure. That statement has no age cap on
it. That's right.
It has no age cap on it. Wow. So you would tell your 15-year-old self that there's nothing that you can't do as long as you can see it. I love it. I love it. If you can perceive it, you can have it.
Yes, most definitely.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. The world truly is our oyster. No matter what you do. And I see a good friend of mine, Mr. Raymond Wilson, is on the live, and he made a post. I want to say it was either earlier today or yesterday. I'm kind of messed up with my time, but he made a post recently that said, and he was speaking to investors and entrepreneurs about how we deal with people who have a regular 9-to-5 job. And I'm in 100% agreement with that. So even as it relates to your statement, there's no cap on what you can do as long as you believe. So if you are a person who's believing to become a real estate investor or an entrepreneur in any space, there's no cap on what you can do as long as you believe. If you're a person that is in love with your 9-to-5 job and that's the lane you want to be in and you want to excel to the top of your field and the top of your career, you can do that. There's no cap on what you can do as long as you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got to see it. Like you said, visualization, speaking it, seeing it. One thing that the gentleman, Jordan Belfort, The Wolf of Wall Street, the movie came out, Wolf of Wall Street, about this famous stockbroker from the late 80s, early 90s. He always talks about act as if you're already doing what it is that you are seeking to do, because you have to be able to smell it, feel it, get the emotions tied to whatever that successful moment is that'll keep you driving, towards to get there physically, and like you said earlier, your mind is so powerful, and the way our subconscious operates is if we can trick, like our subconscious doesn't know the difference between reality and what's dreamed. So sometimes you can fake yourself out by saying, hey, I'm already a millionaire. I'm already a successful real estate investor. I'm already a CEO of whatever business, or I'm already the manager of the team that I want to manage, whatever it is. And without even being in that role already, your mind thinks it's real. Your mind thinks it's already happened. And so then you start attracting these things that actually bring it to fruition. So to hear you at such a young age, man, it's so enlightening. It's so refreshing to hear it, because you're not talking about getting a pair of new Jordans real quickly, or I hadn't followed your Instagram yet, but I'm sure it's probably inspiring, or you probably showing people's deals. So I really love that, man, and I just want to again applaud you publicly for being such a hardworking young man and having a desire for greatness and willing to help others. So again, man, great job with that.
Absolutely. For those investors that are in the Central Texas area, they should be beating down your door. They should be blowing up your phone, blowing up your inbox with questions about how to tap into what Flip Funding is doing, how to get in touch with Tahj so that you can help to educate them through that hard money process, and to get their deals funded. And even to just sit with them and say, okay, are the numbers on this good, or are the numbers on this not so good? And what I like for you to do, if you can at this time, just give us some scenarios. I was working with a client recently who was just really stuck on the interest rate that she was going to pay for the loan in order to get the property. And there can be a difference between hard money and traditional. Can you just give us a little information on why that difference is there, and why investors want to go that hard money route with their deal, whether it's a long-term buy and hold, like Vic likes to buy and hold for rentals, or if it's going to be a quick flip, or if it's a transactional loan. Can you speak a little bit about that?
I can say that, a lot of people, they like to come to hard money loans because, like I said, I say speed. That's one of the, sometimes a lot of cases that I deal with, they're time sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So traditional companies, they wouldn't put a sense of urgency, or if they do, you're looking at still 3 to 6 months, maybe. With me, I don't require your tax returns.
And if it's commercial, longer.
Oh, yeah. This commercial, it's even longer.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole different set of rules that you got to follow when you're dealing with traditional lenders. So for us, one of the things that we can do is beat that time-sensitive matter. Let them know, hey, look, we can get this deal closed in as quick as 2 weeks. Also, we can provide funding the day of the closing or the day after the closing. What I see most of the time happen is, a lady, she went down to the bank and she already started the process with them. they just kept requesting so many different documents that she was just like shopping around. And she asked me, she said, could you send me a list of documents required? I said, yes. I sent her, in her particular case, I believe there was like 7 or 8 documents that was needed. And she was like, oh my gosh. And she said, well, how soon can we close? I said, as soon as we get the appraisal, I'll submit it to underwriting, and 24 to 48 hours, we can close. So we're looking at like 2 different worlds with traditional and hard money. So a lot of them have bad experience with traditional mortgages, because sometimes you may wait that 3 to 6 months just to find out you've been denied.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it, and we'll have all your documentation, and we'll let you know right then and there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a total different ballpark when you're dealing with traditional lenders and regular hard money.
Yeah. The allure of hard money is the fast close, and like you said, the less document. You want to look at your investor experience. You know, what type of deals has that investor done, or has that investor done any deals? So if you have a brand new investor, this is their first deal, and they don't have any investor experience, can you walk us through the process that person can anticipate?
Okay, so the process for someone who doesn't have any experience whatsoever, one of the things that we can do is, are we going to run through the scenario that they have an LLC or no?
Let's run through the scenario that they do have an LLC.
Okay, they do have an LLC. So with that being said, we will strictly be going off of their credit, and we'll be going off of, the reserves that they have. It's normally the same exact flow. They just have a higher interest rate if it's a fix and flip.
Okay.
So the way our interest rates work, it just depends on the experience, the track record. So if you have one deal, we're looking at 11.5% to 10%. I'm sorry. If you have zero experience, that's 12%. One, that's 11.5%, and so forth, so on. One of the things that we do though is, if they have good credit, they have the funds, and they have a good deal, we can actually bargain on the interest rate.
Okay.
Also on their percentage of funding. So if you own a property free and clear, we can give you 100% of the rehab.
Okay.
We give you up to 90% of the purchase. We give you up to 90% of the rehab work. Well, up to 100% of the rehab work, depending on if you own the property free and clear.
Mm-hmm.
So for new investors, I tell them, it's, don't just go off from what I say, because that's what a lot of people do. They'll just go up, but you have to really look for yourself and say, this deal here, you have to analyze the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll send us the purchase price. That will be okay, the contract price. But then when it comes down to the ARV or the rehab work that needs to be done, like, I had someone tell me that their property was worth $550,000. We got the appraisal back, and it wasn't that much, And so it's imperative that you do your research. If you need to talk to an expert, you can talk to experts. One of the things that Flip Funding does as well is, if you need consultation, we have counselors on hand.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Awesome. And so that's a good opportunity for us to jump in here, Laquita, because both of us obviously are experienced real estate investors. As you alluded to, I do a lot of buy and hold single family properties, just the average man or woman's way to start building generational wealth, one property at a time. I know you do a lot more of the flips in some cases, and some rental type projects as well. And, people out there that are looking to get into this program, we highly recommend you don't walk this journey alone, especially on that first deal, because as he just alluded to, you're thinking, you might be running some Zillow numbers or something, thinking that house is worth $500,000 and it's worth $250,000, $250,000. Yeah. And so now you put yourself in a situation where you can't get the deal done, or if you did get the deal done, you're backwards in the deal. You know, we call it back in the day, call it hustling backwards, and nobody wants to hustle backwards.
Nobody wants to do that.
You're dealing with thousands and thousands of dollars, you know, in these investments. So we highly encourage you, reach out to Laquita, reach out to M5 Real Estate Solutions. I mean, make sure you reach out for coaching. Obviously, Nico Don Projects, we're here to help you out with those transactions, but don't go this alone. Even if you just, again, if you go through Flip Funding LLC, he's just mentioned that he has counselors on his team. Don't go this journey alone. Get the information you need. Don't just use Google to try to walk you through these transactions, because there's tons and tons of information out there. And I would say a good majority of it is not going to sell you the full picture of what a transaction looks like.
Absolutely. 100% concur with everything that Vic said. Having a coach or mentor, being a part of a good network of seasoned investors is absolutely key to new investors, but it's also key to, Vic has a circle of investors he flows within his area. I have a circle of investors that I flow with in our area, and we help to keep each other accountable and just the one information off of. Reach out to Vic and myself, reach out to Tahj. If you have questions, you want to, we stress this all the time, having your power team, having those professionals on your power team as a real estate investor is essential so that you don't get caught up in the Zillow numbers. And I'm not picking on Zillow. Zillow is a great tool, but anybody who has been in real estate for any amount of time as a realtor, a broker, or a real estate investor understands that those numbers are not accurate numbers. I had a recent situation where Zillow just gave me the blues. It didn't give me the blues. It gave the potential buyer the blues because I wasn't moving based off of her Zillow numbers. And it was a property. Matter of fact, Vic, I told you it was a property that I was trying to sell. And she was like, oh, the Zillow numbers tell me that it's like 80-some thousand. I was, Zillow lied to you. Zillow lied to you. That's just, feel free to reach out to any real estate broker in the Central Texas area. They can give you some comps and give you a more realistic number, or you could get it appraised, which I do have several realtors and brokers that I partner with that are part of my power team so that I can get accurate comps. So it's real estate investors. We have access to all different types of tools. And Texas is one of those states where you don't have to disclose a lot of stuff. So even with the tools that I have, I don't always have the ability to get accurate comps. I have to have a realtor to do that. I don't have access to the MLS. You just don't, unless you're a realtor or a broker, to get those comps. And at the end of the day, the appraisal is what's going to tell you the truth. And that appraisal came back at, I think it was like 102 or 104 without me doing a thing to it. And so my price went up.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, you know what? We can negotiate between 100 and 90K. And that came back as is like that. Oh, no, baby, no. This changes the game altogether. You know.
So, Tahj, real quick question for you before we get, and then I want you to, give your contact information if you don't mind. But so just a real quick high level, one or two things. The people that come to you that are the smoothest versus the ones that you have the troubles with, what are kind of the differences in the two? What, how can people kind of position themselves differently? So I guess the question in general is, what are the bad things that you're seeing in your industry where people are coming to you versus the ones they're pretty smooth, clean cut, you don't really have as many snags?
So for me, the smoothest are the ones with more experience. The ones that I'm saying they have, at least 2 or 3 flips under their belt or, holds under their belt, and they know the process. Or they have been with traditional lenders and did the same thing, but then they're coming over to us. and it's a relief to them because, hey, we're not waiting 3-6 months, and we have less documents. Those are the smoothest deals that I like to see. Now, I also have, the hardest time is with the new or first time investors, which is where, if I tell them we're going to give them the 2 weeks closing, and let's say if I order an appraisal for them, sometimes during this holiday season, for example, I had several new deals that came, and we wasn't going to meet that timeline. It was kind of difficult because they were like pushy, like really pushy. I just had a deal this week. Last week, while I was in Philadelphia. This is a perfect one right here. I told them that we can close within 2 weeks. They said, excellent. I said, I ordered the appraisal. The appraisal said that they wouldn't be able to get us the appraisal back, the report back, until a week and a half. They then said, well, how long is underwriting? I said, underwriting, 24 to 48 hours. They said, okay, so we can do it. I didn't get their appraisal report back yet, and they blown up my phone saying, well, shouldn't you guys have the report? Because you guys sent them out there. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that with these companies, hard money companies, is that the appraisals are third party. Right. So it's not that we have like control over what the report says, and it's people with little experience. But I'm glad that we just started this program where we have counselors on hand who will walk our clients through whatever. Or even if you're not actually an active client with flip funding, there's still a number that you can call, because if you need that help, if you need guidance on investing, we have a hotline for that. Because we don't want one of the last things that we don't want is people out here just doing bad deals and losing their money, and then they don't want to trust another hard money company.
Right. That's very valuable.
So what would you say are the top 3 mistakes that investors make when approaching, when trying to get funding with hard money?
So some of the top 3 that I see is, for one, the biggest that I see is when the client tries to push things up themselves and do orders themselves. Or they'll tell their agent or whoever they have assisting them to do this as well. One of the things that do is slows us down, because if we're trying to get title orders or insurance orders while trying to reach out to them, they don't know who to send it to at this point, because it's like you have all these people all these contacts helping you. We don't know who to actually send it to at this point. So that's one of the most difficult things, is like people who like to like rush it, because once our orders are in, they're in. It's just the matter of time when they get it to us. 2 is the actual structuring of the deal. And when I say the structuring of the deal, I mean with the numbers of the deal and the credit scores on the deal. And that's the biggest things. When I say the numbers of the deal, the contract, the purchase price, we can throw it out the window. That's okay. The rehab budget and the ARV is where we have a lot of time that a lot of people, they're not willing to put the work into the property. They want to put the minimum in and then think that the ARV is just going to be there. But as an investor, there's a saying, they say scary money don't make no money, So sometimes you have to push that rehab budget up to get that ARV to where you want it at.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, even if you do push that rehab budget up, that doesn't mean that the ARV is going to be crazy, like 550,000.
Right.
So that's the second thing. Usually, what you can do is, most contracting companies, sometimes some of them give you a little fee of $150. Some of them is free for them to come in and walk through. Hey, look, this problem needs to be addressed in the property for your rehab budget. And then they'll also give you projected ARV. Now, I'm not saying with the contractors that it'll be as accurate as the appraisals, no, but it'll be in a range somewhere. So one of the things that I am working on is actually in the Texas area is reaching out to different contracting companies who can actually go out there and waive the fee of them going out there and inspect the property for free.
Yeah, I know. The contractors that I work with in the Central Texas area, most of them, Bell County, in Bell County, Coryell County, land passes, they don't really charge a fee. I've run into a few, but the vast majority of them don't charge a fee to come out. And they're also a key individual on your power team. If you're not just using them to get quick estimates and then not actually using them to do the work, then no, they're not going to keep coming.
Right.
But if you use them and then give them the work, they'll come every time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They'll come every time.
Absolutely.
And give you a quality estimate.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's one of the things, this isn't one of the things that you can just throw numbers together and say, I think it'll be this much. I think if I do this like this, you actually have to do your research. A lot of people don't do their research, so actually like sit here and think and analyze on different things. For example, one of the things I do like to do is just drive around. Gas going up, but I like to drive around. And I just like to look at the different neighborhoods. And one of the things I do, I compare values. I do my own comps. Like I compare values to different things. That's actually one of the things I am thinking about getting licensed in as well, is to actually become an appraiser. One of the things that I do see is that we have a lot of properties here. Well, in Killeen, Texas, where you are, do you notice the land? All of the, one of the things that I do see around this area is military.
Yeah.
For a first-time investor, I wouldn't say one of the first things you should do is a buy and hold. I'd say one of the first things you should do is a fix and flip. Mm-hmm. However, if you are in Killeen, you can let out the door. Right. Buy and hold, the military base is next door. Okay.
Right.
And they are always looking for somewhere to stay off the base. So, I mean, it's just a lot of different things. I mean, and that's a whole different segment on like where the hot spots are on actually targeting areas. I plan on having my first 3 projects completed this year. One of the things is targeting different hotspots. So the military base is, that's excellent. If you live by a military base, I'm saying the military will not let their own go without a place.
Absolutely. If you are an investor in and around a military installation, having rental property is smart.
Yes.
It's smart. It's service members will buy houses. They will do that. But not everyone wants that responsibility of being a homeowner. So, and some people are quite comfortable with renting. Our first investment property was a 4-plex, close to Fort Hood, on purpose.
Yep. Intentional.
It was intentional. Yeah. It was intentional. And we made that move with the help of an amazing real estate broker there in the Central Texas area. At that time, our broker is Miss Kathy Brinkley, and she's still an amazing broker there in the Killeen area. And she advised us through the entire process. Having great people on your team, it's a beautiful thing. Buying and holding, I agree with you, around the military installation is a smart move. Knowing your area, going around, doing that driving for dollars, doing that analysis on your different areas where you are, low income, high income, middle income, lower middle income, and what the market is doing in those areas. if you're looking for the fix and flip or the buy and hold, knowing your area is great, because then you'll understand what your purchase price needs to be, where you need to stick at in your rehab budget in order for your exit strategy to provide to you the cash flow you think is going to provide. If you don't get those first two things right, like Vic said, you'll be upside down in your deal.
Yeah.
Right.
So
absolutely
doing that pre-work is vital. And if you don't know how to do the pre-work, connecting with companies like Flip Funding that will provide the consultation, connecting with other real estate investors as coaches and mentors like Vic and myself are vital. And also building your power team with your realtors, your brokers, your contractors, your appraisals, home inspectors and such. Those individuals are necessary for you to be able to actually do the research. You can't just do the research on Google.
right.
You gotta have the experts in order to get the right information out there for you to make the best move possible.
Absolutely. So Tahj, share with the world, how they can reach out to you, how they can contact you, and we can obviously drop it also in the comments as well. But yeah, how do people contact with you?
One of the ways that you can contact me is by my phone number at 573-842-9012.
Give that again.
It's 573-842-9012.
Okay.
Or you can
email?
Reach me at email at Tahj, TAHJ, at flipfunding.com. FLIPFUNDING.com.
And again, we got Tahj spelled TAHJ at flipfunding.com.
Yes.
Is there a website as well?
Yes. Okay. It's actually www.flipfunding.com.
Simple enough. So investors out there, again, we talk about it all the time. Get your power team together. We talked about the realtor, understanding the market. Not everybody as fortunate as me have a realtor in the house. Latasha Johnson, a realtor here in the Dallas area. But get your realtor together so you can understand the market and whether you should be going after, fix and flip or buy and hold or whatever it is. But the definite team member you need is the money person. If we're talking about money, the way to build wealth is other people's money, not taking all your cash out the bank and investing in the deal, especially if you don't know what you're doing and potentially losing a good chunk of that, but using other people's money. This gentleman's already telling you Flip Funding has some of the best rates. They operate fast. So it means they're organized, they're experienced, they have a consulting on their campus, on their board. So you want to use people like that as your team member and start understanding what they're looking for. And again, with real estate investing, the number one advice that I would suggest to you is do not make it emotional. This is not your dream home you're buying. This is an investment, just like something else, a stock, or if you're investing in anything else. And so you must do the numbers, and having a money person that understands the best strategy based on what you decided as your exit strategy, and that is key. So flipfunding.com, Tahj, TAHJ at flipfunding.com. And that number again, 573-842-9012. Reach out to this young man nationwide.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it, man. It's been some great information given here today. You know what, Tahj, if you could address real quickly, I was speaking to a young lady in the Central Texas area. Her name is Miss Raquel at Evolving Eve. We met at a networking event, and Vic, this young lady is in the credit repair space, just like you with credit consultation, helping individuals in the Central Texas area understand their credit and how to maintain it, and also on business credit. And she had a consultation recently. And in that space, she was advised that most people in our Central Texas area don't have issues with credit. And I just know that's not true. That's not true. And even for you as a lender being here in the Central Texas area, with real estate investors, or even with individuals who are in need of hard money for their own personal reasons, for property. One of the reasons, if you could enlighten us on why hard money can go with a score of a 525 versus a traditional lender. Even with a VA loan, they don't want to look at you like that. Yeah. For a VA loan, you got to go up just a little bit.
They want that 620, really. But yeah.
Really, yeah. And so what is it, I guess, why can't we access that money in that way as real estate investors with scores in that area to help us build and grow our businesses?
Honestly, I can't answer that question. With other companies, other traditional companies, the way that I see it is they want to keep people at their level. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people say invest in something, invest, but sometimes they're just saying invest. They're saying that they're targeting the people with the money. They're not trying to help the people actually grow and build build generational wealth. So one of our things that we're actually focusing on, and I'm kind of upset that we haven't it only in Philadelphia right now, but we're actually having classes for this year, and a topic is building generational wealth. And that's our target. If we have to help you build your credit, we do offer things like that. And I understood that you said that you work with credit.
Yes, sir.
It does work with credit, yes.
Yeah, so that's something that we can do together, because I have a lot of people who comes and their credit may not be there.
All right.
Well, we'll send them to you, or we'll show them the steps that they need to build their credit so that we can have a successful deal.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, I'd love to do that. Obviously, I do webinars live, wherever. So it's really about that. You're right. We got to stop being used to what people are giving us, and let's get out here and start taking it. And it's not hard to become self-sufficient. It does require discipline and some daily changes, some daily habit changes. But, with young men out there like you, man, I feel very encouraged again that, the next generation will be stronger than probably the generation I came up in. We already were stronger than the generation that came right before us. So we got to that's how you build generational wealth. It's not just even money. It's teaching your household about credit. It's teaching your household about good health habits. I mean, all of that translate to the next generation behind. So I'm glad you're speaking on that, man. I'm really, really happy to hear it coming from a young man, for sure.
For sure. And I love what you guys are doing in Philly, and we'll definitely have to offline get together and see if we can come up with some things in the Central Texas area, in the DFW area, because it is about building generational wealth. Real estate is a foundation of wealth. I don't care whether you're a tech billionaire or an oil tycoon. Your office spaces, your warehouses, and whatever you need to run your business is a piece of real estate. Somebody somewhere made an acquisition of a piece of real estate for a reason, to help that business scale and grow. Yeah. I don't care what kind of business it is. Any kind of billionaire, millionaire, whatever you're doing, even the ones that are doing it from their pockets. You live somewhere, and you had to acquire a piece of real estate in order to run your home office, even if it's just from your home. If you drop shipping from your house, there was a real estate transaction as a part of it. So helping people to understand how to use real estate in order to build generational wealth, I'm all about that. Yeah, I'm all about that. Yeah.
We appreciate you, man. We definitely do. For those out there, again, this is Create Your Future Self Live. Create Your Future Self Live, hosted by Laquita Monley, m5realestatesolutions.com, Victor Johnson, NicoDimeProjects.com. We're here every Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, sharing information, bringing on great guests that have an expertise, that have a story that inspires folks. It's really important that, you tell your friends, share, like, comment, register on the link that we send out through Facebook. It's free. We just really want to make sure we're educating folks, and we're going to do this for the next 45 Mondays that's upcoming. So we're going to have a special guest for you out there that will have some particular expertise, and you can go to that registration link to be able to see who's upcoming in the coming weeks. So anything else to close us out, Laquita?
No, Vic, you hit everything just nail on the head. I would really love if Tahj could come back on again sometime in the near future and do a part 2 on hard money. And just to give more clarity for people who may have had questions tonight and didn't get a chance to get those questions in because we couldn't get all of our watch parties going like we normally do. But yes, to add some of that value back into our viewers, I'd really love for you to come back on and do that again. And also just thank everyone for joining us again tonight. It was a wonderful conversation. I know that I learned a lot, and I hope that our viewers learned a lot. And I look forward to our next upcoming guest. We'll be right back here again next Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll be having another entrepreneur from the Central Texas area. He'll be joining us, and he'll be sharing his story. This young man, he's a gospel rap artist. He has his own brand called Treaders, and he's also a middle school teacher and coach. He's wearing many different hats. He's a father. He's a minister of the gospel. He's a missionary. He's got a whole lot going on. And I've had the pleasure of knowing him since he was a teenager. So he's going to come on, share his story, and just, encourage other entrepreneurs. You can have what you want to have as long as you can envision it.
There you go. I love it.
Creating our future self. That's what this show is about, right, Vic?
That's
Creating
right.
our future self.
That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tahj, you have anything that you want to add before we close out?
If there's any questions or any more questions that you guys may have for me, other than that, I enjoyed myself on this chat with you guys, and I'm open to more questions if you guys have them.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming again, Tahj. And as always, guys, we will be looking at the comments in the comment feed throughout the course of the week. Tahj, if you go on to until my page or to Vic's Facebook page, you'll be able to see these comments, and we will answer the comments throughout the course of the week, and we'll put the watch parties up as we do throughout the course of the week. So please continue to ask your questions or provide comments. We'll get those answers out to you, and we will get Tahj booked in again soon and get that posted out.
There you go. Thank you guys for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Register for the link, and you'll get access to all of the previous shows as well. So thank you for watching us tonight.
Awesome. All right, guys, take care.
Later.
Mm-hmm.